Ascochyta blight, and chocolate spot. Chocolate spot can often get confused with herbicide damage. It can cause spots as well. If you want information, the Pulse Australia website, there's the address there, has very good information, very easy to navigate this one. So a lot of it's around paddock selection, so obviously favour on favour is the big risk situation. They talk about sowing date, which I always get nervous about. We talk about sowing date with a lot of things. Here they're talking about delay sowing, so you don't get the early infection. My problem I've got with that is you limit your yield potential as well. Not so good. Certainly is varietal resistance, varies with the different diseases, so you need to look that up. Clean seed for chocolate spot and Ascochyta blight can be transmitted from seed. In terms of foliar fungicides, it's really a matter of monitoring, making sure it definitely is disease, get it identified, and the timeliness of that application. They talk about before canopy closure to get the penetration into the canopy is the big issue. And it really varies, it becomes complicated. Okay? It's a different fungicide for the different disease, but the literature that's on this site goes through all that.
Is it similar diseases to chickies?
Ascochyta, yeah, certainly can get asco. And you can get sclerotinia in there as well, but no, the rusts are different, and chocolate spot is a favourite bean disease. The other one they talk about is preventing pot infections. If you get pot infections, then you can get seed stain and you get docked for that. They actually talk about manipulating the harvest timing to prevent those pot infections. So windrowing or desiccation can reduce that as well. But yeah, certainly not in favour. Lupins, anyone interested in lupins?
Yeah.
Okay, the big thing I learned about lupins is great to learn stuff and finish. In terms of the diseases, it's really your narrow leaf ones are the big issue. So a lot of these diseases, the narrow leaves are a lot more susceptible than the albus type. Main diseases are Pleocheta root rot and brown leaf spot, also caused by exactly the same fungus. So this fungus can cause root rot and also cause these brown spotting. The other one to be aware of, everyone's aware of phomopsis and lupinosis. So this can infect the stem. It actually produces a toxin, which if you feed it to sheep, causes staining with the grain, is actually toxic to the sheep. So you need to identify whether you got that. Again, in terms of management, they all talk about integrated. Fungicides really don't rate a mention for lupin management. So actual cycle time and the way they work, you need to be spraying that regularly, you'd actually go right. And so they talk more about rotation, varietal resistance, and certainly the seed dressing mainly to stop the Pleocheta root rot. Field peas. Oh, so we're nearly there, aren't we? This is the second last line. Okay, big one's bacterial blight, which is a real function of wet conditions and really is driven by spread through mechanical damage. So getting on your paddock when you've got moisture in there, if you've got bacterial blight, will just spread that. So you need a wound infection for the bacteria to get in and cause a problem. So you get these sunken lesions. And when you get it onto the pods, you can certainly have an issue there with staining the grain as well. And the other one is black spot, and there's certainly plenty of information around on black spot management. Again, black spot's the first priority. It's the big disease in field peas. Paddock selection, so again, field pea on field peas. So we got trash there is an issue.
Is that the same as faders, the black spot?
I'd have to look that up. No, I think they're different pathogens. No, I'll look it up in a sec, but no, they're different pathogens. Bacterial blight, they really talk about frost. So the damage you get through frost is an entry site for the bacteria. So that can be an issue. Again, sowing date, which I don't like. Delay sowing, they're not as bad, but got to make money. Variety selection, there's nothing for black spot, but certainly for bacterial blight there is issues there. Mechanical damage we went into, and foliar fungicides they say generally not economical. Again, the repeated spray times, and you can look at harvest management to stop this pod and then downgrading. Yeah, certainly. Last one, going to viruses, and this is going to segue into Serena. You can't actually control the virus, you've got to control the vector. The main vector for most of ours, whether it be pulse, canola, our cereals, are aphids, so it's a matter of managing the aphid. Minimise sources, so those volunteers within the crop or certainly around the edges coming off those, at green bridge. Some of them are seedborne, so you can get your seed tested, particularly the pulse ones can be seedborne, introduce issues there, you can get testing, and there is resistance to some of them. And a seed treatment, this is with an insecticide, imidacloprid is probably the main one we use, can give that early season protection. So it's all about early virus infections, a lot worse than later on, that's where you get your big yield effects. You come into standing stubble, I shut up about the stubble debate, but certainly there's numerous research papers, numerous reports showing all crops standing cereal stubble will reduce your instance of aphids landing, and therefore they've got the virus transmitting disease. Something about them flying over and the colour pattern is less attractive. They always like a stress plant, send out a signal they get attracted to, or an uneven canopy, or bare patches. You'll see them, no other plants around there first off. Certainly I know the Kev Moore, who's done a lot in chickpeas over there, certainly showing that big difference between standing stubble and work stubble in terms of virus transmission in chickpeas. Again, monitor, correct ID, and if you need to control those aphids, stop those patches spreading. If you need more information, I guess you would have picked up easily out of this talk. I don't know a lot more about cereals than the others. If you need more information on these things, they're there. In terms of diagnostics, happy to take any of the winter cereals at Tamworth. I'll look after those, and talking to Kurt, he deals with the pulse and canola. So both of us under our projects, which are funded out of your levies, we do diagnostics at no charge. That's me. There's 2 hours in your life, you'll never get that.